Well, good morning everybody, and I hope everybody has had a great last couple of weeks. And if you didn't know, my name is Mary. I just realized, and this is pretty sad since I've been doing this for about a year and a half, that I don't like introduce myself when we have coffee because I always just feel like you're coming on over for coffee. You know who I am, right? You know, I'm not Vintage Camper Gal, who would say that? Hey, Vintage Camper Gal, Wisconsin. People have done that before, but my name is Mary, so I thought I need to start introducing myself when we have coffees and when I do vlogs or videos or whatever I'm doing. Because I thought, how else? Because it's not in my thing anywhere, my channel or my information or whatever. Maybe I need to stick it in there too. I always assume you know me, right? So anyway, for who of you who do not know me, my name is Mary and welcome to Coffee Morning Coffee. So anyway, what's been going on with everybody? It's been like 2 weeks. We had Labor Day in there, and then last week we went to Mississippi Mayhem. We will be making that an annual thing. So Labor Day was a lovely weather weekend. I hope everybody had nice weather where you were. We had great weather, and everybody at some point or another was able to make it up for the whole holiday weekend, which was lovely. It was nice to see everybody, and it was nice to have great weather, and we had it was cool enough during the day and evening. We had campfires going all the time because it was just a little bit, a hint of coolness in the air where you'd want to have a little something if you're outside around it, and of course at night. So it was lovely campfire weather. I just like, everybody likes to gather around the campfire, and we have a huge campfire. It's not a ring, it is a pit, I guess. It's a fire pit with stones all the way around it, so it's nice because, like, do you need that big a pit? Well, we used to burn pallets in it, that's why it's big, which you can't do anymore. And it's nice for when you have everybody up there that everybody can be around the fire. That, you know, some of those little fire rings are so small that, you know, if you get 4 people up there, it's crowded, right? And everybody kind of has to be sitting back. Everybody can't get right up to the toasty fire. So anyway, had a good visit with everybody Labor Day weekend and had great weather, and so that was great. And then last weekend, oh Lord, I am so messed up with my days because I had been taking a lot of PTO here and there. Boy, if that doesn't mess up your mental calendar a little bit. So I went to Mississippi Mayhem, and we thought we're going to take the Google Map best, fastest, easiest route, right? So we did, and we thought, oh great, we'll be down there, lickety-split. Until we got right outside of La Crosse, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half hour outside of La Crosse or so, or something like that. And we ran into construction. And it was still doable, but you know, you're kind of like going here or there and going around. And we had a little Google map, and we were looking, and I broke out my GPS on my telephone, my cell phone. Also, and we couldn't find where to, and I said, it's got to be over this way. And then we, it didn't go by the map. We couldn't find the road we were supposed to turn on that was listed on my map. And I think it was probably on her directions, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because there were no signs because of all the construction. All the signs were down. So we passed where I thought we were supposed to be, and we're kind of going headed out of town. And I got my little GPS-y thing. I'm like, oh, we're headed past where we need to go because it was at the Speedway Fairgrounds, right? So we turned around. It wasn't that. It only added an extra maybe 15 minutes, but you want to get there. But the weather was awful on Friday. It was raining, and it wasn't particularly, it was a little cool, but nothing like, oh, you're freezing. You got to have the heater on in the vehicle or anything like that. But so we got down there, and it was raining. And we got there, we got parked, but since it had been raining so much where the vintage campers were parking was just sopped, just soaked. And then he says, well, you can park anywhere and go anywhere. He goes, but what, you know, it's kind of a river back there. You know, it's kind of like a dry run that was like, yeah, there's flowing water back there. So we thought, let's head to the highest, and there wasn't a hill or anything, highest point of this area we could park there. And a nice fellow was outside there, and he said, yeah, you can park right next to me. And so we're like, okay, we're going to go around. And like my husband started to go, and then we could just feel things sinking. Oh Lord. So he kept, pulled in front of this guy's camper, and oh, we're not going to be pulling around, you know, for ease of parking. We ended up backing in, and it was okay, but it was sopping wet. It didn't hinder any of the festivities or anything like that. We had fun. a lot of fun neighbors. That one neighbor was to our right was from Holman, and he had a vintage camper, which is so cute. I just loved it. And then he had a vintage truck to go with it. And then on the other side was a whole bunch. There must have been 3 different campers, 3 or 4 maybe. That was a group from Winona. And they were there to party and have fun. So we had a good mix of people that were around us. And what was so nice is, even though there's featured campers, and there was a lot of them too, it wasn't a camper rally per se. People kind of, you know, they were there for all the rockabilly stuff in the cars, but they kind of looked at the campers, but it didn't put the pressure on you to do the, like when you have a rally, you do the show stuff where you, and some people did, good for them, but you put out the, your vintage stuff and the vintage tables and all the, you know, you stage it, that's what it's called, I couldn't find the words. You stage it for a rally, so it's at its optimal most, because people are maybe going in your camper. If you know, some people don't like that, you can just peek, but we don't, come on in. So we didn't have to go, or I didn't feel that I needed to do all this stuff. I just put down my rug, got my little vintage web, you know, the web folding aluminum chairs out, and set up my bar, of course, the important part of the weekend, and set that all up. And then of course had the inside, usually I won't even have the bed out. I always have it made up as, you know, the couch isn't done and the table and stuff. I had my bed down for the whole time, and it was nice not having to unmake it and make it and put it back up. And I might even do that in the future, because I thought, yeah, maybe it's not pristine or perfect, but people sleep in their campers, right? And it's a lot of hoo-ha to bring it out and fold it and put all the sheets and all the bedding, because I don't use sleeping bags. I use my vintage bedding and vintage blankets and all that good stuff. So we didn't have to do that. So that was kind of nice and relaxing. So we visited and walked around and saw whatever between the rain showers and the rain, and listened to the beginning of one band. And we had been there all afternoon. We've been there all afternoon, and you kind of, not that it was a tiring trip, but you know, we were having cocktails also. So I hit the hay early. I think I went to bed at 9:30ish, and my husband came to bed maybe an hour or so, because when you have a camper rally, the rallies are usually in the afternoon. Well, when the car show starts, it's like in the morning. So it was 9 o'clock, so I thought, you know, good thing I went to bed early, because you have to get up like, not super early, but, and our neighbor came and knocked and said, got some coffee made like at 6:30, and we're like, oh Lord, we're not that type of early morning person. Okay, yeah, we're still kind of in bed yet, you know. He's a really nice fella. And so, oh, we better get up and get going and kind of pick up and clean up and dry off what we can and whatnot for the car show. It was a vintage, and I think it had to be pre-64, and then it was vintage motorcycles also. And Friday there's some people there, but it wasn't like, we're like, oh Lord, but people were really rolling in that next morning. People were really coming in, because a lot of people don't like to take their cars, depending on the paint job and whatnot, out in the rain and get it wet, right? So, take a sip. Oh, it's a little bit warm yet. This is my second pot. I didn't drink the whole first pot myself though. So we did that on Friday, just keep that minimal. And then the car show, so we got it all up and going, and oh, there's so many great cars and so many vintage campers and great music. And they had, oh, let me try to even add up in my head here. Was there maybe 20 different I don't know, 20-ish plus different vendors they were selling anything from vintage items, vintage clothing, to reproduction stuff, to that, and though I'm talking like the inside vendors, and then the outside vendors consisted of you know, like parts and pieces for cars and motorcycles and detailing and all that type of stuff. So maybe 20 plus inside vendors and maybe 10 outside vendors or somewhere. And we went and there's a fella who sold hubcaps, and we had lost one hubcap, but my husband found it in the spring in the ditch, which was great. We thought, oh, what if something like that happens again? And if you go online to find these vintage hubcaps, they're expensive. I'm talking $20 up. Well, this guy had them, and he said $3. I said, and we took it over, and he goes, take it over, you know, on our system, see if it fits. And I don't think it quite fits, but if it doesn't, we could make it fit. So we got it for a spare, because I don't want to be one short. That looked kind of weird. So anyway, we got that, and then my husband bought me a Lindy Bop dress. I've always wanted to buy one, but they're kind of pricey dresses. They're out of the UK, and you can purchase them through the UK, but they also have a, Lord, where we live, United States state too. And it was only $50, which was a super good deal for Lindy Bop. You might be able to get something on sale in your size maybe, but this one was kind of a, I would say a turquoise, a dark turquoise with flowers on it. It had a very kind of like, let's say World War II feel to it, kind of a land girlish type feel dress to it. Something you'd wear to a garden party or a tea or out and about, or maybe shopping, I don't know. So my husband got me that as a little treat, and of course we had a t-shirt and a couple other little things. So we had a great time, and you know, I said we didn't bring any food. I brought granola bars with me. Like, oh, there were plenty of different vendors. There's lots of different, I would say maybe 6 or 7 different vendors for food. And it was delicious food. It was really good food trucks and stuff. But we ended up eating one meal a day, and and we did have some muffins and a couple things. But we did, I'm like, next year I said, Lord, because you know, you're cocktailing. And my husband was super excited because the beers in the beer tent, they just didn't have hard liquor. It was just beer, and they had one of the not margaritas. It was butterita or something. It was a cherry flavored margarita. A little kick butt high alcohol thing, and like eat two. You drink 2 and you're like, oh, you're full and they're sweet. I brought my martini bar with me though, and we had stuff to make Harvey Wallbangers. But they were only charging $2 for a can of beer, which was unbelievable, because we thought, you know, a lot of times you go to these events like this and they're like $5 for a beer, $4 or $5. So my husband was very happy about that. Not that he didn't bring his own little cooler of beer, because he did. We always bring our cocktails with, but we didn't mess with like Bloody Marys and stuff, because you know, if you do have neighbors, you like to be able to offer them a cocktail. So I made a couple of martinis up and a couple Harvey Wallbangers up for the neighbors. And sat around the campfire and visited with them and listened to some music, and then and I was done for by I would say 10:30, 11 on Saturday night. I was done. I'm not a later. Every once in a while I might get a little, if I've had a few espressos, get that, but I usually want to get to bed by midnight, you know. So my husband went and caught the very tail end of the I don't know what it's called, but where they do shoot the fire out of the back end of their car with these pipes or something. He went and saw part of that, and then we did on Saturday also see the pinup contest, which was really fun. And we sat there, and that was quite a while, so we didn't see the dance contest. But I said, that's all right. I said, we can save some for next year to see that, you know, because you can't do everything, you know, and see all of it. So we had a great time, met some really great people, saw some neat things, listened to some good bands, so it was all around a great, and it was close. It was only within 2 hours. It would have been a little bit less if we'd had a better route. And then on the way home we took, because we went down the Minnesota side of the Mississippi River, and then came home on the Wisconsin side, and then we didn't have to even have, I think we had a hot dog and something else the day before, and we didn't eat except for a couple munchy things, and it must have been about 10:30 or so. I'm like, I am starving. Gary goes, I am hungry too. So I said, let's try to find an old-time cafe. And Lord, I can't remember I want to say Cochran, but I don't think that's the town on the Mississippi. But they had a lovely cafe, and it was an old-time cafe. You walk in, and you smell, and it wasn't greasy smell. It was like, you can smell like Mama's making breakfast toast and sausage and eggs frying. So we, on their special of the day, and we had it, was biscuits and gravy and eggs with sausage. So we had that, and I don't know how many cups of coffee, and we had chocolate milk, and we had water, and we were so thirsty, and had a lovely great dinner, and then enjoyed there, because it was a beautiful, beautiful drive home up the Mississippi. The weather was really nice. It was bright and sunny, so it was a nice drive. So then we got back and then did what we needed to do, and then bam, we're on to it would have been last week, works week, and now we're at the beginning of this week. So that was that, and then this weekend is in Labor Day, we pedal back. Labor Day weekend, also we started cleaning out the camper up north too. We got probably a good portion of that all done. That was a mess. So my house is, I don't know about you, but my house is about 900 square feet living up here. There's not a lot of room, especially when you got like you got your little vintage camper and you got all that paraphernalia, right? And I got those to go back out because we got it all shut down for the season. And then I'm bringing home all the stuff from the up north camper, so that's at my house too. Oh Lord. And oh, you must feel like claustrophobic because I'm trying to clean that and get that already and decide out of the stuff that I brought home what things am I going to keep and take to the new camper. And I started purging up there and what stuff won't go, won't fit, won't whatever. So I started that process, and my husband started taking over that stuff to the camper that's parked over at my father-in-law's for next season. And not amongst all of that, then this coming weekend we're going to bring home probably, I think I got 3 or 4 totes, my bed mattress and frame, and it's a Hollywood frame so it folds all up, right? And it's a double mattress, so that'll be easy to get back in my Suburban. And I got to figure out of the big things in the house, I got a refrigerator, freezer, microwave, this, that, figure out what, does anybody want this stuff? Do I want it? Do I have a use for it? The kids took what they wanted already. So I have to decide, and if I don't take it, nobody else takes it, it will stay in the camper, so whoever salvages it out, it's theirs, which is great because it's all in great shape and it's really nice. So somebody will get a use out of it, or somebody will make some money off it, which is fine, but we have our garage is packed to the max, and I'm not going to go put it away into storage. If somebody can use it or have it, please take it, you know, and that's fine. I've got all my stuff out, all my personal belongings out. So that will be the finish up this weekend, this coming weekend, and I have a long weekend again. You know, I have to take a lot of fall time off because I love the fall. And we'll do that, and then I think we're going to hit the Indian Head Supper Club, which is an old time, I think it's from the 1930s, Supper Club up in Ballston Lake. And me and my cousin and my nephew and his little girl, Ashley, will be going to that, I believe, on Friday. We'll see how organized we are, because it's a supper club, and it's one where you have to wear something a little bit nice, you know, with linen tablecloths and the old-time supper club, with the baby grand piano and a lady playing and singing, which is nice, and all the fancy cocktails. And then we're going to go to the Dancing Dragonfly Harvest Festival. I'm not sure what it's called. And, you know, they do a grape stomping for the people who go to the festival, just for fun. And then they have different vendors and foods, and we have the wine tasting and all that type of stuff. So we're doing that, and then we'll be heading back on Sunday. And more news is, as y'all know, because I've talked about it, puppy dog, little Lily's in here. They just got their haircuts, and they're so cute, but they kind of look kind of naked when they first get their haircut. But I wanted to get it first. They needed it because it's too long, of course. And I want to get them so it gets a little growth in before the cold weather starts. You know, you don't want them naked outside when it's really cold. So anywho, as you all know, I've been at where I have been working for 26 years, and it's been a great place to work. And I've been very happy to work there and work with some great doctors through the years and great co-workers, and love all the patients and stuff. But I decided to make a little bit of a change. I guess it's not a little bit, it's a big change. And I'll be starting a new job in the beginning of October. And it's a medical laboratory job also. But I will be getting back into, because where I work now, I do very limited things. And I do lab, and I do a little x-ray, and I do a little bit of nursing, and you kind of multitask when you're in a small facility. And what I do in the lab is just a stat lab. So I just do basic things in microscopics and processing and whatnot, and whole gamut of different things and stuff. But it keeps you busy. You know, we got 3 full-time positions there, so that keeps you really busy. But I just decided at this time in life, it's time to do something different. I wanted to change it up. I kind of wanted to broaden my horizons and kind of take that dive back into more laboratory stuff. So it will be working in a hospital laboratory. And it was, when I took the little tour, when I was interviewed, my eyes were just popping out of my head because, you know, in the little lab I only have a few little analyzers, and they're pretty simple, and we don't have like an internal laboratory computer system, so everything's manual and hand entered and all that type of stuff. And this is all automated and mechanized and hooked up to computer systems, so it's kind of undaunting but extremely exciting for me. I'm really excited to start there and get back into lab. And I think I put it off for years, and I think it's out of fear in a way, because, you know, you've done something for so long, and you get to that comfort zone. But even though you're thinking, do something different, but you're so comfortable where you are. And it's a little bit of a fear factor because you've done something for so long. Can I do something else? Am I able to, do I have the knowledge to be able to relearn or soak up that information? Because it's all back in the file, so you just got to pull it, you know. But it's been quite a few years since I pulled it, and things have really changed. Even some of the stuff I talked to her about microscopic wise, she says, oh no, we don't do that microscopically now, we have a test kit for that. I'm like, what? And I guess if I would have Googled it and looked for it, but I guess I never even thought of Googling or look for it. Or some of the testing that I was thinking, you know, I'm pretty rusty on because I haven't done this, that's all test kits too. So it was really exciting. I was so excited when I got done with that interview, just to see all of the things that have improved and been made a lot simpler, I guess, in a lot of ways, and the computer systems. And I'm really excited just to get all this new knowledge. And I guess it's not new knowledge, it's old knowledge that's going to be refreshed in my mind, and start that. So in a full-time position too, because I was thinking, oh, do I want full-time? And I'm like, I'm not ready to go part-time yet. In a few years maybe, we'll see, but you know, it depends on how it all is with this and stuff. It's pretty exciting, and it's the clinic system that I'm working for is very large. So if you're doing this for a number of years and down the road you want to do something different or transfer somewhere or do something else or change it up, you're within this large system of opportunities, and there's lots of continuing education. Can you tell I'm really excited? Lots of opportunities for continuing education, and they really strive for that continuing education for their employees. And once it's all official, I'll tell you where I'm working and all that, because I know I've mentioned where I'm working now a few times but I want to wait until I officially started there because I'm still at my old job. I'll miss everybody dearly and stuff, but it's really exciting to start something new. And I don't know, it was just time for a change for me. You get to a certain age, I think you start looking at yourself and your life and reevaluating stuff and where you want to be or where you're going, and you want to freshen things up a little bit. And that back in a year and a half ago, yeah, about a year and a half ago or so, or plus, you know, that's kind of why I started my whole YouTube channel. Is, you know, you just get to a certain point, you know, your kids are raised and your majority of your responsibility with them is done, or it's changed. It's not the same as it was when they're, you know, in high school, or even like my son who lives at home. You know, he's all on his own. He's an independent fella, and I don't really do much of anything for him. And you know, you do have your meals together during the week and stuff, but you know, you just I guess maybe it's kind of filling a void a little bit is why I started the YouTube channel. And not only that, but being able to share all of this vintage stuff and all the vintage camping stuff, because you know, you go to your few rallies and you get to do that and stuff, which is really fun. And you know, you do your vintage shopping and you talk about it a little bit here and there, but there's not a lot in my community that unless you go up in the cities or down to La Crosse or maybe into Eau Claire, but right in a radius of maybe less than an hour, there's no other people that are really into this vintage stuff. There's a few people around that are kind of into it a little bit. I'll run into them, the Salvation Army or stuff, but not to the extent that I am. So it was a way for me to share all my love of all of this vintage stuff and nostalgic things and my vintage camping, and I guess it's another way of just to share information. So that's why I kind of started this, and then I just kind of thought, you know, and I love it, and I'll keep doing this, and I like doing that. But I thought, I think I want to change it up. So I think this almost gave me the confidence when I started this to like, okay, you did this, you tackled this, and it's okay. Mine is, come on, mine's a basic YouTube channel, and it's not going to ever be one of those big fancy ones and all that type of stuff. And I just do it for fun to share, and for you to share back with me. I really enjoy when you guys share things with me, or comment, or you know, it's a sharing, I guess it's a sharing platform. You know, it's a community, and it's a family in a way, and that's why I like this. So it gave me the confidence to maybe kind of evaluate outside of my little channel here and look at other things, and decided, you know what, I think I want to try something different with my career. You know, and I love the medical field, and I was almost looking at maybe getting out of the medical field, but I love the medical field. I love the medical laboratory aspect of it. So I just wanted to change it up and do something different at a different facility where I have maybe more opportunities for growth and learning. And so I did it. I took the plunge, and I officially started that new position the first Monday in October. And it's right during my favorite time of the year in September and October. So congratulations to me. Lots of changes, lots of things going on. So I'm hoping that I have one whole week off before I start the whole new experience of my new facility. I gotta get rolling with my vintage, not my vintage camper, my camper in storage, because I need to get my cortices off, and I want to do a bunch of stuff there. But, you know, I'm not going to stress myself out either, you know, because I have to go do some orientation and stuff that first week of October, and then they set you out gradually, which is nice. It won't be a big shock where it's like, oh, here you go, throw you into it. It sounds like they have a really good training program, which I'm really excited about too. And the orientation of the whole system itself, that sounds really exciting. And I get to go down to Rochester for that. That'll give you a hint to where I'm going, not going to Rochester, but it is a branch of the main Rochester clinic system. So I have to start going with, I gotta be super organized. So I have to start going with getting things in my other camper ready. My husband started transferring stuff today, and there'll be more transferings of stuff, but I'll get done when I get done. I'm not gonna get all upset if I don't get something done. It will be there in the spring. It'd be nice to get it done now, but I'll be full-time, and it'll be primary days, but I haven't done for, I can't even remember the last time I did. I'll be working weekends, and it will be like a Saturday, then call, and I'll stay right at the facility. And then the next week's another day, call, and I'll stay there, and then I'm off for 4 weekends. And then I'll have to do rotation of holidays, and that'll be all really different. And then I guess maybe your family structure for holidays will have to change a little bit depending on what holidays I work. Because I like to have at least 2 winter holidays during the season to get a gathering of all the family together, because I'm the last person who gets everybody together for things. So that might be a little structural change, but we'll work with it. In the summer, whatever holiday I'm off will be the holiday that I'm like, okay, this is the holiday because I'm off, and because I won't have as much vacation either. I'm going to have half as much vacation I do now. So a lot of times I will just take days off now just to take them off, because you know, my husband works all the time. So we only do very small things together, and my cousin Christy, we do stuff, and we decided not, because of all of this, and we couldn't get a room at the Orleans, we're not going to do, oh Lord help me, Viva Las Vegas this year. But we found this one right in the backyard, and we were so happy with it. Maybe it's not, you know, of course it isn't, it's not this huge scale of Viva Las Vegas, but that's okay. Sometimes there's too many people, right? So that's what's going on. All this stuff that I just did, I got all the stuff coming up this weekend, and the next week I hope I can get going on the other camper and show you some stuff. I won't be able to show you the purchases that I've made for the decorating, because I've boxed and bagged them all up, because I thought I don't want to put them up just to show you and then have to take them down for storage so they stay fresh and nice for the season. But I'll maybe just have one video this fall instead of several videos, because I was planning on maybe having 1 to 3 videos this fall regarding what I was doing in it. So it probably will be, excuse me, 1 video. I wonder how long I'm talking this morning. I don't know. 1 video just showing you, hopefully, me getting the cortices off, bringing some of the stuff, because I think I'm just going to put it all over there in its totes in storage for spring, and then I can do what I need to do in the spring, and then I'll just shoot some spring videos. So sorry about that, but life changes and you got to roll with it. So I'll probably just get the hopefully, if I don't get that 1 video out this fall, I'm sure you guys will understand. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm hoping just to get the stuff over there. And I did take a couple pictures of the old camper up north in the floor, and I probably will post those on my Facebook page. I'm not going to make a video of look at the floor falling out. Here's some pictures of it. I'm just going to post them on my Facebook page so you can see. Oh lordy, it is really bad. And I'll take a couple of her. I'll got it out. It kind of looks, she looks sad already. You take all that paraphernalia off the walls and the curtains down, and you can see, oh lordy, she was in bad shape for sure. So that's what's going on with me.